My name is Marina Picciotto. I am the Charles B.G. Murphy Professor in Psychiatry. I'm also professor in the Departments of Neurobiology and Pharmacology, and I serve as Deputy Chair of the Department of Psychiatry for Basic Science Research. I've learned that there is obviously a correlation between how seriously you take science and how much effort and mental work you want to put into it. Obviously, the more serious you are, the more successful you can be, but there isn't necessarily a correlation between hours in the lab, efficiency, and good science. I've had graduate students in my lab with children who have to be very efficient because they have to get all of their experiments done by the time they have to go home and pick up their kids from daycare or from the babysitter. And those students have often been the most effective. So it's not time that matters. It's focus, and it's understanding what the important questions are to ask and how to ask them and answer them effectively. So as a mentor, I now look for that rather than, hey, are you here on a Sunday evening? Because I'm not there on a Sunday evening. I have a daughter. I think it's very important to be home and to spend time with her while I can. She's going to go off to college one day, and I'm going to miss her. By the time you're a postdoc, you have to be self-motivated. If you have to go to a lab where someone's sitting on top of you saying, hey, did you do this? Did you do this? Are you here? Are you getting it done? Then in fact, you're not going to be very effective as a junior faculty member. So having a certain internal motivation, not getting your motivation from the PI or from others in the lab, is very important. I think that you also have to know that you are going to fail, and likely fail often. You come in with one idea, and as the data come out, that idea turns out to be wrong, or at least partially wrong. And some people have the feeling that, well, I have to complete what I said I was going to do. I have to keep going. And that's absolutely not the way that you should be in a postdoc. Especially in a postdoc, you need to follow the data. And you also need to talk to people when you have data that's unexpected so that you can get new ideas and get input about new directions. And for most of us, when we take up a scientific problem or scientific question, we feel a real attachment to it. There's a personal investment in that idea. Having it fail is often a real blow. I remember sitting in front of the Exomat. It's a machine that develops X-ray film when I was looking for DNA sequences as an undergraduate. And every time I put my DNA sequence into that machine, my heart would start to pound. And it was because if the answer that came out the other side was what I was expecting or something interesting, I had a finding. And if it didn't come out the way I thought, or if it was blank, which happened more often than not, then I would have to go back, start over, do the experiment again, find new ways to make mistakes, because you have to make every mistake until you get it right. And that feeling of sort of excitement is what drives you forward, but that also makes you very vulnerable to feeling discouraged when you fail. That resilience to being able to pick yourself back up and say, it's not me, I'm not a failure, an experiment failed, is really critical to being able to stay in science. And the answer to success in science is sticking around.